Okay, so we're going to be taking a look at the Mabinogi Eternity project, but we're not going to be looking at it on the NA site, we're going to look at it on the Korean website, because the Korean website has more information, so let's hop over there real quick. So on the main official Korean Mabinogi website, right down here you can see Mabinogi Eternity project, let's click on that. Then we click on the Mabinogi logo in the center. And there is a lot of stuff to read here. I think it's better if we go to development history. This is everything listed. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 categories to look at. So this will give us more information and a few more screenshots than what we've seen before on the NA site. So let's take a look at this one first. Taking the first steps in the news of Eternity. As many Militians have been waiting for, we have opened a space exclusively for the Eternity project. I hope they do something like this for the NA site as well, but for now there's only one on Korea for it, which will deliver exciting news in the future. As I'm about to deliver news to Militians in a new space rather than the developer notes or website announcements, it feels a little different. And I'm nervous all over again. Here we will conveniently report issues, concerns, and development news that our Mabinogi team has encountered while working on the Eternity project. We want to give you the feeling that we are continuing to develop with Militians over a long period of time. Of course, depending on the speed or progress of development, it may be difficult to provide news more frequently than expected. Nevertheless, we will strive to provide consistent news in the future so that it can be a space that makes waiting exciting. As this is the first story told by Militians in this space, I would like to briefly explain the current status and direction of the Eternity project. So, classic but classy. Okay, personally I feel a little awkward, but this sentence encapsulates the direction of the Eternity project. This is a slogan that was actually presented internally from the beginning of the Eternity project, so that it would not be forgotten during the development process and everyone on the Mabinogi team could remember it. I believe that the basis of Mabinogi that Militians who come to Mabinogi expect is a fantasy life. And fantasy life refers to all activities that allow you to immerse yourself in the world of Erin. And ultimately rebuilding it will be the core process of the Eternity project. In the end, the goal is to continue the direction Mabinogi originally intended to go from the beginning, and to achieve this, Mabinogi must inherit its classic identity. However, we want to create a sophisticated appearance so that we can present an unrivaled charm compared to any other game. So yeah, we still want Mabinogi to look and feel the same, but we do need to update and move to Unreal Engine. So I'm glad they're keeping in mind that Mabinogi has a very unique look and a very unique identity, and they're trying to replicate that in a way that everyone feels comfortable with. So, current status of the project. So you may be wondering how much progress is being made. A lot of people are wondering that, both in the NA and in Korea. The Eternity project is currently in the prototyping process. However, since it is a redesigned and inherited form of a live game, it is very different from developing a new game. As a result, the purely physical volume is very large. It is difficult to say exactly what progress is being made. However, the Eternity project is going through or must go through the following process. We are planning to redesign the server structure and logic into a more stable form. All content as well as Mabinogi's basic movement would have to be recreated in the new engine. In the process, we plan to transfer and improve all data and scripts by renewing them in a better way. Every world and many of its components must be upgraded or rebuilt as they are moved to the new environment. Although this is an old game, there are original drawings and plans that have been lost in this process. While drawing and reproducing a new picture, you must create a new proposal for any content that needs to be modified to match the latest grammar. In addition to this, there are numerous other areas that need to be worked on to prepare Mabinogi for its new environment. In order to complete all this within a reasonable time and present good performance, I think we need to make bold choices, such as excluding infrequently used resources or content. We will explain the development process step by step and share our concerns. With this direction in mind, our Mabinogi team is working with a lot of worry on one hand and excitement and fun on the other. And in the future, we will use this space to tell various stories and be with Militians through the Eternity updates. So I thought about various ways to show the process. To enable this process to be developed together, we ask questions about what issues each person in charge of is actually experiencing and what concerns they are having. I thought it would be better to tell a more direct story about the development. However, not all people in charge, including me, have talent for writing, so they may be poor at writing. I'm a little worried that it may not always be interesting. Nevertheless, the sincere wish to create a permanent world of Aaron is. I wanted to go through this process together because I don't think there's much difference between us and Militians. We expect to be able to tell a wide range of stories by trying more diverse things in the future. Mabinogi Eternity is a fantasy life we create together. So this is why I like the new Korean director. Like, he's saying that not all of their posts will be super exciting to read about, because a lot of it is just boring technical stuff. But he wants to be very honest with the player base, and that is really good. So I really appreciate that they're choosing to be direct with their players about what's going on. So I decided to break this video down into 3 different parts, mostly because there's just so much information to go over. But we are having a look at the Mabinogi Eternity page on the Korean website. And this is because there's a lot more information about this on the Korean site than there is on the NA site. So watch part 1 if you want to see, like, where we talked about this, taking the first step in the news of Eternity. And next we're going to look at Omniscient Art Perspective. Hello, I am Safety Director Raccoon, in charge of the art side of the Mabinogi Eternity project. When engine replacement discussions first started, I thought engine replacement work would be carried out at headquarters level. Before we knew it, at the 23 Summer Fantasy Party, we finally announced a replacement, so the Unreal Engine replacement. We thought that the replacement for Unreal should start with Neo. While producing Neo, I kept asking myself if the first impression of her that everyone had in their hearts was correct. While making the Neo launching video, how many times did you screen the short video in the development room? Modifications continued until late the previous day, but no one in the development room gave good feedback because Militians felt this way when they first met Neo in the Soul Stream. The first impressions and feelings and current longing are all different. We dared to say this is enough. This is because it could not be declared. However, we are very excited and happy about this work, and we have been providing. In the world of Aaron, it was not felt due to the limitations of the Pleon engine. We are waiting for the day when we can find immersion and vitality together. Mabinogi is now approaching its 20th anniversary, because it's been around for 20 years in Korea. It is truly an honor to be on this journey with Militian. So, finding the Aaron we want. We already saw most of this post on the NA announcement, Mabinogi Eternity Project, finding the Aaron we dream of. So that's most of this information here. You can see, like, this is mostly what we just saw. So we'll be skipping over this. I'm not going to read all this. Check out the NA site or check out the Korean site and read all about it if you want to go over the information and compare the differences. And next we'll take a look at, let's start with Neo. So this is from a character modeler for the Eternity Project. In early 2023, an engine replacement task force was proposed and the foundation work was being diligently done. One peaceful day I heard this story during a meeting. Let's start with Neo first. I heard about the renewal of Neo, the representative NPC of Mabinogi, and along with the news of Neo's renewal, you will also hear about the difficulties that previous Neo workers experienced. This is a legendary story that cannot be fully written here, so the tension was high even before it started. Neo has an expression that seems both kind and sad, yet unknown. Neo's basic design is also burdensome. How shall I express it? Also, how much modeling specifications should be taken from Unreal Engine? Whether there are expression methods that need to be improved, and how much of the parts that could not be expressed due to the engine's limitations. So here you can see what Neo looks like in Leon Engine, and over here you can see what she looks like in Unreal Engine on the right. Personally, I think they did a really good job remaking Neo in Unreal Engine. Eternity's Neo original drawing drawn in the direction of renewal. The initial look was a mess, but as we received customized feedback, we gradually approached the unknown character Neo. In those cases, I put the two Neos side by side and worked on matching the images. I think this section played an important role in helping Militians accept this work as Neo. Yeah, I think they did a great job with Neo. Like, I know it's really hard to create a lot of these characters that we care about, and I know it's hard to, like, recreate the world of Aaron, because, like, none of us really want the world of Aaron to change, or the characters to change that much. We still want it to look and feel the same. And I get that that's not an easy task to ask the developers to do. that are working on this Unreal project. Posing where you can feel the wind, so this looks really cool. I posed, went through revision after revision, and even right before completion, I continued to worry about how much I could make Neo smile. What kind of smile would you like from eternity to give you? In situations where you have no choice but to be cautious about any expression, morph work, facial expression work is done. The Neo is smiling. At first, I kept the smile small, but my thoughts came together to express Neo's feelings more clearly so that they could be conveyed to the Militians. I was so careful about making Neo smile that I even remember separately requesting guidance from the art director. This Neo, who smiled brightly for a moment during the work process. There were many difficult moments while working, but now I am full of gratitude. Although every day is still a struggle, I will work hard until the day I meet all Militians. So yeah, this is a huge challenge for the development team to make the game look and feel good. Like, they're under a lot of stress about this, and because it is a very difficult thing to do. But overall, I think they're doing a really good job with it. So let's move to Unreal. This is Brown Sauce. I am currently working on replacing the Mabinogi engine. I wrote this because I wanted to tell Militians about background modeling among the work I did. I hope this article will be of some help to those who are curious about the engine replacement process. For nearly 20 years, Mabinogi has taken deep roots in Pleon. Therefore, it was obvious that the moving task was not as easy as transplanting a young tree. Of course, ultimately, most of the buildings and objects you can see in Unreal Engine will be newly built to be pretty and colorful, but for that work you need a rough sketch. Because creating numerous new sketches is a huge cost itself, we had to find a way to replicate Aaron from Pleon and use it as a sketch at a lower cost. The first thing I was worried about when planning to transfer Mabinogi as is the question, can Pleon-specific world data files and modeling be used directly in Unreal Engine? And sadly, of course, that wasn't possible because it was Pleon only. In this situation, 3 ideas came to mind. The first idea was to modify the Unreal Engine code to read Pleon-specific files. However, if you modify the engine code like this every time you upgrade the engine version, there is a possibility that your modified code will conflict with the updated code. Then you must continue to fix the conflicting code. And because the cost of work is higher compared to other ideas, I didn't think it was the best way to create a rough sketch. The second idea was to modify the Pleon-specific files so that Unreal Engine could read them, but there's a problem with this method too. When creating objects in Mabinogi, modeling work is done using commercial programs. Afterwards, we convert it using a program we developed ourselves so that the Pleon engine can read it. Unnecessary data is deleted and some necessary data is calculated in advance for optimization. However, among the data erased at this time, there were values needed by Unreal Engine. Although it is possible to construct a 3D model with the remaining data, except for the removed data, this method was not the best, as it was noticeably different from the original. This file was modified so that Unreal Engine could read it, but the goddess statue looks angular due to the lack of smoothing. The third idea was to move the original modeling data into Unreal Engine before converting it into a dedicated file. Unreal Engine can easily and simply read files created with commercial 3D modeling programs. Therefore, as long as you have the original before conversion, I thought I could upload it to the Unreal in a form similar to Pleon. The first attempt to upload raw data to the Unreal was successful. The original data was output from a commercial 3D modeling model as a file that Unreal could read. When I imported this to Unreal, it looked much better than I imagined. However, this method was not perfect either. This is because traces of Pleon still remained. When working with a 3D model of a Mabinogi object, in addition to configuring the object's shape, data for interaction within the game is also added. However, this data was not needed in the sketch. Rather, the shape of the sketch looked different due to this data, so I had to find a way to erase this unnecessary and disruptive data. To transfer the original modeling data to Unreal, read a file in a 3D modeling program, and then it must be output as a file that Unreal can read. The problem is that even though this process is short and simple, the number of files is too large. The problem is that it takes too much time for a person to do all these files one by one. Considering the physical time, automation was essential. The 3D modeling program used by Mabinogi has a script language that supports automation. If the user scripts the tasks or actions he or she wants to do with the modeling program in advance, you can repeat that task over and over with the click of a button. Use this script to do the printing work that had to be done for each file one by one, while automating the program to do the work for you. I also deleted unnecessary data from the sketch that I was concerned about earlier. Also, the texture of the original modeling data must be converted into pixel format so it can be read by Unreal Engine. This processing was also programmed to be done in the script. In order to use the transferred 3D model as a sketch, you must place it in Aaron created with Unreal. However, Unreal Engine cannot read Pleon's specific world data files, so I had to check the location, direction, and size in Pleon one by one. There were a lot more pieces and more work involved than the previous work, and because it had to be processed using Unreal Engine, I couldn't even write a script for a 3D modeling program. While I was thinking about it, I thought of an idea. If it is possible to extract object type, location, direction, and size from a dedicated world data file, couldn't we use it for placement in Unreal? When constructing Pleon's Aaron world, Mabinogi uses its own world creation program. 3D model data created with a commercial program is imported into the world creation program and placed. Afterwards, the batch status is finally converted into a world data file. The self-developed program was familiar to me, and the inside data file was. So I was able to modify the program to extract the data needed for deployment from the world data file. Now all that's left is to have Unreal Engine read the extracted data and automatically place the 3D model. This issue was addressed by adding a feature to the engine. Because the automatic placement function was implemented with functions that already exist in Unreal Engine, it was relatively less expensive than an engine modification, and the risk of code conflicts was low. Dunbarton transferred to Unreal Engine to use as a sketch. Through these processes, my work on automating sketch production was completed. Currently, background modelers are working hard to create a new Aaron based on the sketch. My eyes are purified as I look at Aaron being reborn in high quality. Although my work does not create a finished product, I feel great joy and pride because I am helping Aaron in her process of rebirth. There's a lot of work ahead before Mabinogi can fully move to Unreal. There are many technical problems that need to be solved. It may not be an easy road, but for the day, we invite all militians to the new Mabinogi. We will move forward steadily and diligently. Alright, let's start playing some Mabinogi. Let's see. I have like a day to get rid of this frost flame thread, so around 4 tomorrow, 4:30. Okay, so around this time tomorrow. Let's see. I guess I'll start by getting my fishing bait. We'll turn in those smelts. And how much gold do I have? 87k. So let's go find out what the daily veteran dungeon is. I don't think I have any near tight left. I used all that up on Friday, I think. Yeah, all that's gone. What kind of shadow missions? All Out War and Champion of the Shadow Realm. Okay. Eka Veteran Dungeon. Usually I don't do that one. Let's give it a shot. Why not? We'll try it out. So, dual guns. And a staff. Alright, let's hop over there. Wait, do I have a spirit liquor used on my staff? I don't know if I ever gave it one. Nope, that's just the standard one. Maybe I'll give it that Flurry of Pages one. Wait, what's this one? How does this, where's that other one at? That goes two together. Yeah, this one. How does this one look? Is that one too? Yeah, some of the challenge has been taken out of the game, with the stuns being removed and all that. Rabby Phantasm has been made easier. The texts feel too short and easy now, too. But I did take that Mabinogi survey thing they were talking about. I took that like sometime last week, and I did type some stuff saying that I wasn't really happy with New Rise or the dungeon part of the update in particular. So yeah, I think I basically think that the dungeons are too easy and texts are too short, and that older dungeons need to be improved, idiot dungeons need to be improved. I basically said stuff like that, instead of just making everything easier and forcing us into endgame dungeons. So that's more or less what I said in the survey. There was like a live stream in Korea at like 1 a.m. today that I ended up watching some of, and I think he was showing off like the new Arcana talents. So I got to see a little bit of like puppetry and some of the skills for fighter as well. Those look pretty cool. Oh crap, I forgot to switch my current Arcana. I guess I'll get out of here then. Yeah, it's fine. Can't believe I forgot to switch out and back to Arsenal Gunner. That's okay, I'll do Phantasm runs then. But yeah, I think one option would be remove veteran dungeons completely and just make like the normal dungeon like at the veteran dungeon level, and then like make basic, intermediate, and like and advanced just like more difficult versions of those veteran dungeons to encourage like party play. I think we're at the point where all the dungeons sort of need to go up to veteran level. Same goes for like shadow missions. They could add like a veteran difficulty for shadow missions too, because those are all pretty easy with Arcana talents. Even Lord Shadow missions aren't really a challenge. Alright, let's see if we can pull some of those passes. Magnet all those. Well, there's one. 2. Cool, on a couple shadow mission ones it looks like. Let's go to Tara, we'll do the 2 shadow missions on Elite, and then I'll do like 2 runs of Rabby Phantasm. Like before, I couldn't even pass Rabbi Phantasm before the New Rise update. I had gotten to the boss once before the New Rise update, and now I can beat Rabbi Phantasm solo. Like, if they were gonna scale, like, old dungeons, I mean, one thing they could do is just prevent us from using, like, an Arcana in, like, the old dungeons, like, normal through advanced. Because realistically, you don't need an Arcana to do anything below a veteran level. But yeah, the players, like, the monsters either need to... The players need to be scaled down or the monsters need to be scaled up. Wait, did I pick elite difficulty for that? Yeah. But the problem is like, you can go into an advanced dungeon and just, like, use the basic attack on your dual guns without using any skills at all and pass most of them. So even without Arcana, most of those older dungeons are overly easy. And that's the thing, like, I don't want old dungeons to be forgotten, because some of them have certain drop items in it. There are transformations for the Transformation Mastery skill in a couple of those dungeons. Like, that content could just easily be improved. I think they just need to adjust it, not really get rid of it or draw attention away from it. Oh, Dallahan got me, but he's always pretty strong. There we go. I mean, I've heard, like, rumors that there's some sort of dungeon update planned for Idia that Korea hasn't gotten around to talking about, so I'm kind of hopeful for that, but I'm gonna be a little annoyed if that turns out to just be, like, an update for those stupid ruins out there that no one really uses. Like, I'm hoping that's actually gonna be a real dungeon update. Like, I would love to see veteran modes for, like, Longa, Par Ruins, the Maze Ruins, Karu Forest. Castle dungeons also need an improvement too. I kind of wonder what they're going to do about the housing area in general, because like they're going to have to redo the housing area when they move everything over to Unreal. It'd probably be best to just kind of demolish that entire system and like rebuild it from scratch. I'm not sure why this room is always empty. Like, the first room of Phantasm is always empty, and, like, these two rooms off to the side are always closed off. I'm not sure if there's a way to, like, make those doors open, but feels like they made this dungeon shorter. Yeah, there'd be... That's why I think, like, basic and intermediate and advanced should just be, like, veteran, but, like, way more difficult to, like, encourage party play. There's nothing wrong with, like, increasing the difficulty, because we're already doing most of the content solo. Just make, like, a normal veteran mode that people can do solo, and then every level of content above that would like, be incredibly difficult to do solo, and would encourage you to, like, go in with more players. Yeah, and that way you would have, like, a choice. You could choose to just, like, do slightly easier solo content more, and eventually slowly build up whatever you need to get the reward, or you could take on, like, more difficult content and have, like, higher rates for, like, drops and stuff. So it would, like, still give you the option to play the way you wanted to, but strongly encourage teaming up. They also got rid of most of those annoying ghosts in the hallways here. They're still on the second level, but they're not really on the first level anymore. Which is kind of weird. Like, they were annoying, but they made this place a little bit more challenging. Yeah, either scale the players down or scale the monsters up for dungeons. I think either one would work. But yeah. I don't really have a huge problem with Neartight. The problem I have is that it's way too easy to get high-end gear now. And that kind of ruins, like, the in-game economy and stuff like that. Even the Korean players have been complaining about that too. Like, I've read some of their forums over there, and they're not happy about that too. And also, I don't like how techs are shorter and easier. I think Neartight itself would be fine as long as they adjust the drop rates on, like, items and stuff and make techs the way they were, like, longer and more difficult. I missed the ghosts in this hallway. Those made this more challenging to get through. Like, it was way more difficult to get to the boss room solo before New Rise in this. I think there are less, like, succubus fiends, too. I think there are like 4 or 5 more rooms left. There's actually room with some of them. Let's go to this room next. I mean, there are times when it can be a little annoying being thrown around the room more times than you can count, but overall I think the stuns make the game feel more realistic and it makes it more challenging too. So yeah, overall I definitely prefer having stuns over not having them. I do like how these ones poison you. There aren't enough enemies that poison you that badly in this game. It's just kind of crazy, like, thunder isn't even knocking me down at all anymore. It'll be interesting to see the results of that survey and like see what happens. I'm guessing if you're saying that most people like the way the stuns are, stuns probably wouldn't change from the survey then, but I'd still settle for at least making the dungeons better or making text the way they used to. I'm glad that fireball at least knocks me down, that's nice. Oh, that's a wall. So we'll go this way next. I think there's just like one more room over here, and then we can go to the next floor. Oh, more of these gargoyles. At least the gargoyles have good knockdowns. I think the queen here has only defeated me, like, I've only died maybe once. I did a couple runs after New Rise. Arsenal Gunner works pretty good here. But she was a lot more challenging when when enemies could stun you, because I remember playing it, I got to the boss room before the New Rise thing, and like that was part of the reason I couldn't beat the boss, because all the little fiends kept knocking me all over the dungeon room. Use this. Just gonna use a bunch of meteors to get rid of these guys. Wait, what kind of leather is that? Common? Oh yeah, and then there's this room too. I forgot about this one. Heal up real fast. I forgot about this mini boss because they're not really challenging enough to remember. Okay, now I want to focus on the other one. Crap, I keep messing up that. There we go. Okay, we got that one. And then that one. Where'd she go off to? Oh, she's using that attack again. Okay. This is easy to dodge. Hey, nice freezing. Sometimes she tries to heal herself, but not this time. Oh, using that again. Okay, yeah, now she's gonna heal, but that's fine. Won't make a difference. Got her. Oh, I think we have a feathered guy here. Yeah. Let's do that one more time, because I have one more pass for that. At least I think I have one more. Yeah, just the one over here. Okay, I've never actually used one of these black-stained roses before. I know they've popped up in a few of my runs, but let's actually use them. Return after completing the Queen's storyline. Okay, so maybe I can't use it right now. Alright, 2 more rooms left before the boss. So let's get that active, and then Meteor. Just like the boss in the Echo Stone dungeon, just have to defeat them. Defeat both of them like within 30 seconds of each other. And now for the queen. Oh, my weapon broke. Oops. Hooray for remote repairs. Wait. Oh, that's the wrong thing. I clicked on the shop. Yeah. Oh, crap. Do I have a... Of course, I closed it without repairing anything. Do I have a remote repair kit? No, I do not. I guess I'll also have to switch to a different pair of dual guns. They're not my spirit weapon ones, but they'll do. Might take a little bit longer to take her down, but that's okay. Oh yeah, this one actually has to reload, because this one's not a spirit weapon, so it doesn't reload automatically. That's right. Let's reload while she's in the air. Let's do that for a second. Oh, wow, she moves way out of range of that. Oh, enough of the MP crap. use that. Oh, she's gonna heal? Okay. She's gonna do that one trick again. More MP. Okay. Oops. I aimed that at her. There we go. Well, there's one thing I learned from having to use a different pair of dual guns for this boss fight. I am really glad I have that ultimate unlocked for my spirit weapon dual guns, because it is a pain in the butt to have to reload your dual guns with the Arsenal Gunner Arcana. Smoldering Thread, Strength Fragment. Okay. I think that's everything I want from here. Let's go ahead and head out. Where's that feather thing at? There it is. So let's go to the Arcana Association room real quick. I want to get some Frost Flame threads processed. I think I can make 4 for 600,000? Yeah. Out of 7, so I have 3 more. So I need 450k more to do that. Go get my dual guns repaired, my spirit weapon ones. I think the mission in Tailton was All Out War. I think I'll do that. Is that the one that takes place in the castle area? Outside the like castle area on the housing channel? Oh, these have to be repaired at like a Hill and Engineer spot specifically. So used to using that. I'm so used to using that like remote repair feature that it's been a long time since I've had to go to an NPC to do it. Okay, repair my dual guns. There we go. Let's go do that shadow mission, see how much I can make off that. Oh yeah, and I can sell those, okay. Hang on, let's get rid of those real quick. There, now I only need like 150k more. So elite. Oh wait, we want to do the one in Tailton. Why am I already did the one in Tara. Wrong place. But yeah, shadow missions could use a higher difficulty because they're just too easy now. Like, I can't remember the last time I did a shadow mission that was actually a challenge. Maybe like 8 or 10 years ago. I watched a Korean streamer play some Mabinogi mobile though. I watched him like run Berry Dungeon 2 or 3 times. That looked pretty cool. Okay, yeah, so All Out War is the one that takes place at the castle, Homestead Castle. Or, I mean, like the housing area castle. I don't know if I've ever tried Arsenal Gunner for this, so we'll see how well Arsenal Gunner works out for like this kind of mission. Does this knock me if I get hit by it? No. Good. We can just stand here and get him. I wonder if I can just stand here and use Bullet Barrage over and over again. That's the problem with having no stun. Like, I think in the past, if I was standing on like one of these circles, it would probably have like knocked me down, and now that it doesn't, I don't even need to pay attention to them. I can just ignore it because the damage it does is so little that it's not even worth moving out of the way. And that removes like an element of challenge to the mission. So it's not exactly a good thing. And time for the boss. So far, Arsenal Gunner's been looking pretty good here. I don't even need to go over there. Watch, I can just lock onto the boss, get him from back here. Got him. I need like 31k, 400,000, 400 gold, something like that. Really close. What could I do for gold? I could do commerce. I hate to admit it, but I could do Stardust stuff. I just don't want to. But then again, I never want to do Stardust. While I think about that, let's do some spirit weapon work here. I got my dual guns to level 100 like over the weekend. Didn't take much, I just had to wait for the limit to reset, the weekly limit. So that's finally maxed out. Okay, so I guess I'll save the last spirit weapon slot for the fighter arcana, because I'll probably really get into that when that comes out. Probably make some spirit weapon knuckles. Let's focus on the Spear of Annette today. Level 84. There, we'll get her most of the way to 85. What am I looking at for Stardust? Like, what was my goal? I need to get rank B materials to... Wait, is this rank? No, these ones aren't ranked, but these two are. Right, so I need to level up the main Stardust rank and then get some more stars on these. I think I'm gonna wait until I get the remaining, like these 3 remaining skills before I level up these other ones. And just kind of focus on the, on like leveling the main Stardust rank. Yeah, let's go see what quests they have. I have to work on this at some point, I guess. Might as well be now. Let's go see Melon, see what she has for us. Do I have any Stardust stuff active? Oh, we do have that one. Is that a Tailton one? Well, I'll trade it in for a new one. Rank B item quest, and rank B core fragment collection quest. Damp thread. Isn't damp thread kind of a pain in the butt to make? Well, it says deliver it, so you don't have to craft it yourself at least. And their method, that's the zombie one. Okay, so... how much does damp thread go for? How pricey is it? Oh wow. Pretty expensive. Nah, I think I'll trade that in for new item quests later on. We can probably do that after we finish the shadow mission. Okay, I don't think normal dual gun attacks work on the zombies, but what about the Arcana moves? Like, hang on, let's check this out. That doesn't do any damage, but what about the Arcana skills? Nope, okay. So they're all bad. I guess we'll switch over here to Chain Slasher stuff. Let's go ahead and equip that. Let's take that off. That there. Are there any zombies over this way? No. In fact, let's get some speed potions too. There was a showcase for the new Arcana. Like, I know Korea had a stream at like 1 in the morning, where they showed off some of the puppet skills and the fighter skills. I saw some of that. Yeah, I didn't really like understand what they were saying. I'd have to rewatch it with like the closed captioning auto-translated to English, but I saw some of the skills and that was pretty cool. I'll do Sniper War since I got an elite pass for that. It looked like the fighter one was pretty simple, like there was just a third combo option for the Arcana skills, it looked like, so there was like an F3 combo. Oh, let's switch back to dual guns. So I'm guessing those two new Arcana will probably come out like late this month or like early next month in Korea then. I'm kind of on the lookout for the posts where they put on the front page that actually like shows the story of the characters and shows like a preview of all their skills and descriptions of all the skills. When they release that, I'll be sure to make a video about that and translate all that. I thought it was kind of cool that you could put like outfits on the puppet, if I was seeing that right. They had like one preview where they were showing like a menu where you could put like outfit pieces on your puppet. Something like that. Oh yeah, that's worth a lot. Nice, we'll sell that. Alright, now I can make 3 more Ice Scorched crests, get rid of those thread before they expire. I have a bunch of frost, a bunch of smoldering thread to get through too. I've been focusing on getting the frost flame thread done. Okay, 3, 450k. Nice. So I have way more than enough Ice Scorched crests. Now I really need to focus on getting the Scorching crests. Which is easy, those are pretty cheap. Okay, we have lots of time to get through those. We can at least make 9 of them right now. And let's go turn in my Stardust thing too. Get new rank B quests. Gold bars. Shadow Realm Champion, that's easy enough. I don't really feel like crafting gold bars. How much do those cost? $40k? $50k? Do I have any on me? Because I would need like 1 more. I guess for now I'll just focus on core fragment collection things. Can just wait for the easy item quests to pop up. Let's go do Champion, Shadow Realm Champion. I think I'll switch to Dark Diviner for that. I love Arsenal Gunner. It's probably my favorite Arcana, but there's certain things that Dark Diviner is better for. Like, Dark Diviner has better range. Oh yeah, and I actually have to switch the Dark Diviner here, so... When can I do a rebirth? A little over 2 days. I already used all my Forgetful Potions, okay. See how the spirit liquor looks on my lance. Find a bear or something. That's pretty good. Okay, Shadow Realm Champion. Let's use a Shadow Crystal too. And done. Barely had to do a thing. Thunderblight did like 90% of the work. I don't really feel like doing that. Maybe we'll do some commerce then. Do I need to work on my Dumbarton rating? Probably. Okay, my merchant rating's only level 6 here. We have the Grandmaster effect from this. I want that when I'm doing commerce. So I guess I'll take this stuff to Tara. And we'll do commerce for a little bit to get some gold. Do I still need to raise my merchant level by 1 in Tur? Let's take a look there. I don't know if I bumped it up a level or not. The last time I was doing like commerce. Let's find out. Okay, no, so we're not at level 7 yet. Let's take these to, I guess Tara. I don't really want to travel over the seas to another continent, because that takes a long time. But I am really excited that the New Life update in Korea is going to shorten the ship times and do some stuff for commerce. It's kind of ridiculous when those boat rides take like anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. I didn't even realize I had 20 fine leather. Let's take out 2 stacks of 10. I'm gonna sell that. What's fine leather going for? The price sometimes changes a little bit. Some as low as 540 for an entire stack. Oh, that's for 9. So it's about 60k per piece. 59. Okay. So it looks like the cheapest is like 56k 800 per piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to list my fine leather for 55,000 gold per piece. Let's do that. And the same thing for the other stack. 555,550 gold. Still cheaper than any of the other prices there. Those are going for 5 mil. Last time I tried to sell this one for 3 mil and didn't have any luck. Let's relist that. I'll sell mine for 3 mil, that's still 2 million cheaper than the other ones. Maybe I'll actually get rid of it this time. Yeah, those are good for another 9 days. That's nice. On Thursday, we'll do like a bunch of techs. I'll probably use up at least half my near tight on Thursday. Like we'll use up like 5 or 6 of it, maybe 7, and then we'll use up the rest of it on Friday. enchant is this one? Death Arrow. Nah, I don't need that. Yeah, let's get rid of all that. Just had a few more speed potions in here than I thought. I guess I could also turn in some bandit badges. Where do I trade those in at here? Oh, I can't select more than one? Okay. Been letting these build up for a while. Alright, that should clear up some inventory space. And what inventory am I keeping? Hang on, I need to check some pets out. No, not that one. No. I'm gonna do this one out, I think. Oh, I have some homestead seeds in here. We'll take these out. I didn't realize I had those. And use these. I think that'll probably be enough to level up my homestead. We're pretty close to that 14th or 15th level. Whichever one it is. Oh, and I had some fine leather in here. Okay. Wow. I didn't know I had this kind of stuff stashed in this pet. I should check their inventories more. Keep damage totems in that pet. Fishing gear in that one. Homestead items. Oh yeah, that's right, I decided to keep it in capes because I use them a lot for commerce and stuff. Okay. The reason I want to open up capes' inventory is I want to put this iCoupon in here with this stuff. Perfect. Oh, and how much are the special summer casual wear going for? Let's look those up. Special summer casual wear. Not really worth selling at that price. Okay, what about the one for female? Because I have one of those. $200,000? I'll sell those later. Hey, cool, fine leather went fast. Alright, well I think that's good enough for today. We'll wrap up the stream right around here. And we'll do more dailies and stuff tomorrow, and then Thursday will be tech missions.